Hello, I'm Joan, and this book is called Davos Man by Peter S Goodman. Davos Man is the term that's collectively used for the people who flock to the town of Davos in Switzerland every year for something called the World Economic Forum, where they get up on a big stage and they profess to have empathy for the common man and great concern about the problems that are plaguing the world, like climate change and inequality and all of those things. But behind the scenes, actually what they're doing is figuring out how to take advantage of these crises to perpetuate their own wealth and to protect it. The book follows 5 men, and yes, they're all men in this book. I generally find that reading books of this type, there are very few women amongst the pages. And these 5 guys operate on a very big financial stage. The author talks about how they've plundered economies and plundered organisations so that governments can no longer fund what they need to fund, and the inequality is growing. When the COVID crisis came along, for instance, some American medical centres had been so stripped by their private equity owners that they simply didn't have enough resource to fight the COVID epidemic, so it ended up being much worse than it would have if it had happened a few years ago. He talks about one of these men who managed to do really well during the GFC when lots of people lost their houses. He bought them all up and then he rented them out at much bigger sums and made an awful lot of money off of people's misery. It's an absolutely riveting read which had me angry in many, many places, but I enjoyed it, and I do think it's a book that everybody ought to read.